Hello and welcome to Branders. And today our guest is Mr. Vikas Pavan Kumar, the Chairman and MD of ShivTexChem Limited. Heartiest congratulations and thank you for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you for having us
Mr.
here.
Vikas, you are stepping in the big orbit of IPO. So give us an overview of the company. How's been your journey like?
Sure. So just to give you a quick abridged snapshot of how we started this entire company. So the company actually started as a proprietorship by Himanshu's dad. So Himanshu Chukhani is the CFO of the company. His father incorporated this company as a proprietorship in mid 90s. We were fortunate enough at that time to be associated with the Birla Group, due to which we got an opportunity to redistribute certain very key chemicals, namely sulfuric and caustic, in the domestic chemical diaspora. After a decade or the company got incorporated as a private limited entity, and then Uncle ran it for a good 2 decades. That's when myself and Himanshu stepped in. So Himanshu is an Ahmedabad graduate, and he's a chartered accountant, gold medalist. I did my engineering in the US, and then I did my MBA from the Indian School of Business. After which I got some work experience at Boston Consulting Group. So, if you've studied a little bit, you want to do some experimentation in your life. So that's when we joined ShivTexChem, we thought, what is it that we can do differently instead of having a traditional distribution model. So at that point, sorry, I just got a call. So at that point, we had an opportunity to, since Uncle was doing these two chemicals, which are basically, in some sense, in a financial or in a banking lingo, it's like opening CASA accounts for customers. So it's a very, very basic form of product provision that you're doing to the chemical industry. And since he was an early entrant into this with sort of a pseudo monopoly in the trade, we had massive customer registration. So, in some sense, we had as good as 600, 700 odd customers that we were actively working with. And that's when we decided that, a lot of these customers, they require a lot of solutions, like petrochemicals, to be imported into the country. And, that's when our real journey into the petrochemical space started. Now, there are three reasons why we actually looked at petrochemicals as a journey. So point A, petrochemicals, as the name suggests, is manufactured. I mean, the raw material that is needed to make it is either crude or gas or coal.
Sure.
Now, unfortunately, our country is, in some sense, a deficit in all three of them. Right? We are net importers of all the three commodities. And most of the time, these three commodities in our country is either used to power us for fuel. I mean, it could be power or petrol or diesel or air turbine, if you know that, or it is used for food. So your gas is then used for urea and things like that. So it's more to do with your very basic or cooking gas and things like that, right? So since these two are the bedrock of any economy, you're not going to really use it to manufacture petrochemicals, which essentially is not very closely linked to your basic livelihood. But now what happened in India over the past 2.5 decades is, consumerism really shot up. Like, our per capita GDP is really is growing by leaps and bounds. Consumerism it's just orbiting to a next level, which is very visible. I mean, if you just look around yourself, right, Sonia, you would see that right from the sunglasses that you're wearing is made out of a petrochemical to the cosmetics or the toothbrush and everything. I mean, just anything that we touch today in this world is unfortunately very synthetic. And if it is synthetic, it is made from a hydrocarbon. There's very limited natural things that are available for you to consume. And this consumption is just going to increase. I mean, everybody knows that, India is at a fantastic cusp of this consumer growth journey, which is a story which is it's going to be intact, and it's very widely known, very well documented, etc. But for this consumerism to grow, you need certain raw materials, right? And which is, because everything is synthetic, you need petrochemicals, and that's where we come in. So when we started speaking to a lot of these consumers, they were like, they really were struggling to get this entire supply chain solution in place. So that's where we saw an opportunity that, okay, there is we have a very rock solid network of consumers that are there in place. We started talking to multiple manufacturers at that time. So we started with 3 or 4 products back in 2019. Today, we have grown to a company which services around 45 odd products. Initially we had, we always had 600 odd customers, but today we have, on an active basis, we have 650 plus customers. But as a portfolio, we service around 2,000, 2,500 odd customers. But at any given point, our active customer base is that much. And we had like 4 or 5 suppliers when we started back in 2018-19. Today, we have close to 60 plus suppliers. And that's spread across multiple geographies. So right from the US to Europe, Latin America, Middle East, China, Southeast Asia, Far East Asia. So it cuts across various continents. So that's a little bit of a snapshot of, the journey of our company from when it started 3 decades back to where it is today.
Wonderful. So I understand you are the forefront of importing chemicals and one of the leaders. So what makes your product so critical? And also, I understand there is no peer competition. So what are the entry barriers?
So what makes our product critical? So as I said, right, a large number of these products are the basic raw material to make them is either crude, gas, or coal, right? Now, unfortunately, that is deficit in our country. Plus, the kind of technology investment that has to be done in order to manufacture those products is massive for the market that is that is there for us. So hence you will not even see Reliance actually manufacturing a lot of these products because it does not really merit an investment from their side as well. It's too small for them to actually do it. So even the behemoths like Reliance or BPCL, HPCL, none of these guys are really interested in that long tail of the petrochemicals. They are more happy with the the plastics or the polymers aspect of it. So that, and also the demand for crude, for petrol and diesel is much higher. So you would always see most of these OMCs doing that rather than getting into these petrochemicals. So that's one of the reasons why import is necessary. So you just don't have an Indian manufacturing base, but you do have a consumer base which requires you to make these products import these products. Now, a lot of these companies do not engage into importing it directly themselves because these products can be imported from 5 or 6 different countries. The cost structures of those countries are very different. And that's where, we step in because we provide them a lot of IP, like we give them a lot of research that, okay, product A could be better priced if you buy from, let's say, a Taiwan rather than buying from a Brazil, or, probably Korea's right now because the cost curves at Korea is better. So you may as well look at Korea because the shipping time from Taiwan and Korea is the same. So that's the kind of, there is a 8-member research team that sits and analyzes ki each country mein kitna export surplus hai uske paas, us particular product ka at any given point in time. So that way we are able to give an insight which is much more better to our consumers, and they do find a little bit of a commercial benefit by working with us.
Wonderful. So can you give details of the IPO?
So the IPO is broadly launching on the 8th of October. It is got a price band of 158 to 166. It's approximately on the upper band, it is around 101 crore issue size. That's the fundraise that we are looking at. Largely, the object of the fund is to fuel our long-term working capital growth. So that's where we are. That's where I think majority of the proceeds are going to be used for.
What is your roadmap for next 5 years?
So on a quantitative basis, we currently are sitting at 40, 45 different products. We would like to take that to, between 90 to 100 products. We would like to double that portfolio. We would like to penetrate into our consumer base furthermore. So, there are a lot of untapped consumers whom we are currently not servicing. So essentially just, grow on the volume front significantly in the next 5 years. That's broadly the plan.
Sure. 5 good reasons to invest.
5. So I think, as I said, the first one is that, the country is going to be fuel deficit.
Yes.
Right? Consumerism is something that is going to grow. And anything that, it's quite surprising, but anything that you touch, see, experience, in some sense, is a petrochemical, right? Like the table that you're sitting on, the sofa that you're sitting on, because the dye or the leather that goes into it, that's also synthetic. The vehicles that you drive. So the massive consumerism that is there is just fueled by these petrochemicals that, and unfortunately, we do rely on imports for servicing our country's need on the consumer side. So I think those, and then if you look at it from ShivTex's perspective, so that's the macro perspective. From ShivTex's perspective, we have been able to deliver consistent growth. I guess age is on our side. We are slightly qualified enough to structure this trade a little better. That's where we started this entire research desk, which kind of helps our customers be more connected to the market and take better informed decisions on their purchase side. So I think those are the key themes that I would look at as an investor.
Wonderful. So you've achieved so much. I would love to hear, what is your leadership mantra?
I guess believe in God. Yeah.
Wonderful. And what is your
believe in God, believe in your team. That's it.
Super. And what is your secret chemical and secret formula of success?
My secret formula for success, I think hard work, nothing else. It's as simple, I think, right as a kid when I was into academics to now as an entrepreneur. I think it's just hard work, nothing else.
Super. Wish you many more miles of success and have a fantastic run with the IPO. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was a pleasure
Thank you.
hosting you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.